Yes, sir.
What it is, what's poppin'? We are back, and guess what? This is not an episode, but we are coming back with the album reviews. Gotta have the vinyl albums in the background to do the album review. If you want any indication of what album we talking about today, in case for whatever odd reason you didn't pay attention to the title, bam, the sequel to this mug right here, Savage Mode 2.
Yes, sir.
21 Savage, Metro Boomin.
Metro!
Jesse, man, look, highly anticipated when he said he was releasing it. I genuinely, naturally, a lot of people, us included, excited. Definitely want to know what it was going to sound like. I think everybody wanted to know what kind of follow-up 21 was going to have to I Am Better Than I Was, because a lot of people mess with that album for a lot of reasons. So, kind of just 21 up to this point, I mean, we talked about it in episodes as well, but extremely consistent. Probably one of the best examples and stories of a true evolution of an artist as we saw his music change. Given what you saw from his other projects, especially I Am Better Than I Was, what were you kind of expecting going into this album?
Well, I put it as best as you can say. If you know anything about how 21 came from Savage Mode, to how he came on I Am Better Than What I Was.
Yeah,
it's two different spectrums of this artist, this person that he's given us. Like, I Am Better Than I Was, like, that tape was, like, I would say you got a little personal, like, you still got your, like, 21 talking this shit, but you also got, like, a little introspect into who he is, like, his upbringing, like, understanding, like, okay, this man means he wants to evolve to what motherfuckers expect from him. Savage Mode 2, I was really expecting him to talk his shit exactly how it wasn't so much of what Savage Mode 1 was, but it's just like I knew we wasn't getting what I Am Better Than What I Was. Like I knew,
we shouldn't. I wouldn't have wanted that. You know what I'm saying? I would want there to be some type of. I would want to be able to distinguish between the two, because I feel like, especially, you got to forget, like, so one, I will say, let's not discredit Issa album. I think that for a debut actual album as it was packaged, I think it's pretty good. I definitely still got a couple songs that I run back on a consistent rate from that project. So I don't think 21 has necessarily ever had a bad project, which I think speaks to the evolution, because it's like you just continuously got better and started tapping into more skills.
Hell yeah.
But I will. So my expectations. I think I recently, like the last couple of years, became a true 21 fan. Like, I wasn't a 21 fan when Savage Mode first dropped. Nor was I a fan when Issa album dropped. I didn't become a fan till probably like a year after Issa album. Before
I became a fan probably like 17.
Mine was definitely. It probably was early. It was probably more so early 18. Early 18. Became a fan. I started hearing more of Issa album, right? And so then I'm like, oh, okay, 21 is okay. 21, this is nice. I can get with this. And so then I would start paying more attention to his features, because he had a great feature on Birds, which for me put him on my radar. And then I started paying more attention to his name and his features.
Travis tape.
It is my favorite Travis tape. But that's probably because it also has a Kendrick feature too. So that's probably what it is. But yeah, so I think. What was your, like, not to cut you off, but
you good. What was your expectations of, like seeing that I gave mine when Savage Mode 2 was announced? Like, what was your thoughts about it? Like, what?
I was hella excited, because by that time, like, I'm a fan of 21. Like, so now I'm like, oh, bet. New project 1, but then on top of that, it's Savage Mode 2, and then you working with Metro. And Metro already, comes with a certain type of, like, Metro gonna come with it. And I don't think we had heard anything from Metro, at least in terms of a, exclusively produced project, since I think his joint from
was it double?
A year or two back.
Was it? Didn't he have?
Well, he did.
With Big Sean?
He had one with him and Big Sean, which was, I want to say, 2017.
He had one with him and Nav, right?
Had one with him and Nav, if I'm not mistaken. Because then he also had the one Offset verse, the Offset, I think 21, that joint. But then he had his own, the one that had, like, I think he had a couple Gunna features, like that one. So he had a couple projects, but I think that the time frame from his last project to this one, unless that Nav one fell in that time frame, I can't remember.
It definitely did.
But it's still been relatively scarce, at least in my opinion. So seeing that connection and being more understanding of what the original Savage mode was, I'm like, oh, okay, like I definitely want to see if they can repeat or how they have evolved as collaborators.
Man, that shit.
And then also one other thing I want to mention before we get into the album, I think people forget like the year stretch, about year going on 2 stretch that happened for 21. Like he released I Am Better Than I Was,
and
got the great reception, but then like
2018.
But yeah, but like immediately following that, like the beginning of 2019, that was when the whole ICE thing came about, and that was literally a whole thing that bamboozled everybody. And then he came out of that situation, was quiet in the sense of music and relatively quiet in the sense of just being kind of around or present, and then started doing features again, showing up here and there, and then we get the album. So I think a lot of it was like, okay, like 21 ain't dropped essentially in 2 years, so we excited. And 2 years is usually where a lot of people are like, all right, like we ain't got something. Where you at?
2 years since
so
then, bro.
I mean, we'll get right into the album. General thoughts about the album first and foremost.
Man, that shit turned. That shit.
It's a great, like it's a really good project. It's extremely
And I don't even want to say to be a follow up of any, but to be a continuum of Savage Mode 1
for sure,
and to understand growth in the artist.
Yeah,
like, bro, that shit is fucking nuts, bro. From the producer aspect from Metro, and as far as the artist, nigga, Morgan Freeman.
Let's talk about that. Bro. That's the highlight of the album for me.
Let's get there.
First of all, Morgan Freeman is probably top. You talk about narrating voices, like just like voices in terms of actors, in terms of
he's up there,
presence and feel. He's up there. You think of him, the James Earl Jones, all of them. Morgan Freeman up there though. So for Morgan Freeman to essentially be narrating your album, and then on top of that, it wasn't like Morgan fell out of place. Like one of my favorite parts of the album is the Snitches and Rats the intro of it.
I like that, and then I like his ending.
To Many Men. Oh boy, he was preaching. Morgan was preaching, and I'm like, the way that they even, cause I'm like, did they just say Morgan talk about this, or did they give him a script?
Like how do you say?
What does that conversation look like?
Yeah, Morgan, I need you to just hop up on this track, hop up on the album essentially, and just do your shit.
Do your shit.
Or do my shit. Okay.
Do my shit.
Yeah, like I don't even
so
know how
you
to
want me to talk about Many Men and Snitches and Rats?
I know.
I'm like, how did that conversation happen?
Bruh.
But nonetheless, like he's definitely a highlighted tape, and I think he adds to making it an album because when you have the outro to Many Men, and like you hear the song and then you hear the outro, and it's like, yo, like the shit connects, like the shit makes sense, like what he's saying in the outro connects to the lyrics, and then the same thing with the intro to Snitches and Rats. It's like it all connects. It makes you feel like, all right, this is an experience. Like 21 is taking me through some form, of a journey. So I definitely mess with that. Standouts, just whether they album cuts, like not your top 3, but what were some bright spots, whether it been a stretch of songs or just songs in general from the album that stood out to you?
Stretch of songs, Snitches and Rats, definitely.
That stretch of,
I say from running.
Honestly, if you think about it, looking at the track record.
Jesus Christ, bro. This shit is it's a no miss, bro. Like,
hey, to be completely honest,
I say
he don't got many points in the album where he fall off or there's a drop off.
He don't. Like each track he's talking his shit on that motherfucking, who's ever featuring on that bitch, they talking their shit on that motherfucker. Or like not even the point to where because he got a track with Nudie, but it sound good.
It sound good. Like the album Nudie sounds good. You know what I'm saying? So like you could get particular and want to say if this feature was this. Cause like I said, Drake's feature is not my favorite. It's not a bad feature.
And you know what's crazy? When I originally heard it, I was like, damn, this probably one of my favorite tracks from the tape, and that was just on 4. So when I got to the end of it, it was just like, yeah, nigga, my perspective has definitely changed.
For sure.
As far as like what was my favorite, what's the top 3 and shit like that. Yeah. Like this, I honestly say the stretch of where like before. Let's take out the first 4 tracks. Let's do that.
Okay.
When you get
that's fair. I give you that.
Rich nigga shit
through
some brand new Drake. No Op Left Behind. And I just want to say, because you got Rip Love.
You can't, but you really
Sad,
can't stop there. Like, at that point, you might as well just say the rest of the album.
Right, like this, I ain't gonna fake it, bro.
It's
Savage Mode 2 is 15 for 15.
Listen, it's
Savage Mode 2 is 15.
Truly, honestly, like, there's not a miss. There's not a miss on the album. There's not a miss on the album. Yeah. And that's crazy, and I think that speaks because it's not that 21, it's not like we just saying, oh, the album sound good. But 21 talk, like, he talking about stuff.
The production is done from Metro.
Man, Metro's fast per user.
Narration of who you using to narrate the fucking theme of what you going with. Fucking 21 talking this shit. Like, everything that's put together to make this album is not a miss. Like, you're not looking at a track like, damn, like, this doesn't belong on the album. Or Morgan Freeman doing that doesn't go into what they doing. Like, what was the fucking purpose of this? Like, it wasn't random interludes. It wasn't random narrations. The track wasn't just thrown on there as like, damn, this probably was a throwaway track. Like, everything, in a sense, kind of made you like, damn, Savage Mode 2 was a full, complete album. You know what I'm saying? Like, so now we're saying that. Where would you go on giving it your rating? You know how we get crucial when it comes to rating.
All right. Now, what I will say, rating, I mean, based on what we said, we agree it's a 15 out of 15. Mm-hmm. We agree that all aspects of the album are what make it a great album.
Facts.
It gotta be an A, man. Like, it gotta be.
Is it an A plus or is it an A? Because then pluses and minuses
A plus would virtually mean it's an untouchable classic.
But an A is just like, it was great.
An A is like,
it was good for its time.
An A is like, it's great. Because I believe it's timeless. I don't think it will age well.
Okay.
It will age well.
So this is how you do this is how you do it. Can you ever see yourself saying Savage Mode 2 is better than Savage Mode 1?
I don't even know if that's the question. Is Savage Mode 2 better than I Am Better Than I Was? So it's like, if that's not a clear yes.
But right now, no.
I will say this. It may have the potential to change. Because I said it won't. It will age well. Mm-hmm. So with me saying that, if I go back a year from now and let it ride, and I still get the same feelings, or I still can say like, this was 21 or even Metro, for example, at a part of their peak or within their prime, and it becomes clear that like they were at that place, then it could potentially change.
Cool.
But I would say for right now, I feel like it's way too early. I can't designate it as a classic. I can designate it as a really So is it great? Is it a great album?
It's a really good album.
It's a really, really, really good album. It's very cohesive. It's well put together. It flows. I think that's a big thing with albums too. It definitely flows, but yeah. So I agree. Really, really good.
I will rank it. I have to give it the grade, and I'm gonna give it an A.
Give it an A.
Saying that it was broken down as that. My top 3 from it.
Yeah. But do you need to see the track list one more again?
Said and Done.
Okay.
No Ops Left Behind. And Rich Nigga Shit. Right there.
Okay. I agree with you on Rich Nigga Shit. That's definitely top 3. Mm-hmm. I think for me, the interlude to Snitches and Rats really makes me, like, as just a track in general from the album, it's one of my favorite. Because Morgan said what he said.
He said the shit.
Period. You know what I'm saying? So,
that Glock in my lap, my shit too.
Whole shit, we already established. Whole shit fire. But Rich Nigga Shit for sure. I think I'm personally going to go with Many Men. Me, personally. And I'm probably going to go with Said and Done too. It was going to be between Said and Done and R.I.P. Love. Because he definitely said what he needed to say on R.I.P. Love too. And I feel like that's just a preference thing at that point, like which one you prefer. But I'll probably go with Said and Done, especially as an outro. I mean, he gave us 15 songs, 44 minutes. There's a lot of things about it that's really good. You know, that's really, really good. So in the question, last thing about it. So where do you think this album puts 21? Maybe not so much from a legacy standpoint, but in terms of right now, in terms of at this point in his career, at this point in the rap game, where do what do you think this album did
I think it
for
makes
21?
I think it makes people realize that he's a consistent artist. He's a consistent rapper. Like, the shit that he's putting out, he ain't coming with no bullshit. Like, you're not gonna get a tape from him and just be like, okay, why he put this out? And it can be overlooked. Like, I know motherfuckers tried to, it's an album, after it's an album, and then Savage Mode came. It was like, damn, do we really want to overlook this? And then, like, it grew on motherfuckers.
Yeah.
And then I Am Greater Than I Was, it was just like a big surprise of how he was coming with everything.
Yeah.
From, nigga, the first song on the track, he had a Cole.
What? Not, like, obviously, we love Cole. But, like, even Cole aside, like, that's the, like, for that to be your opening track, and for you to do what you did,
Come
oh
on,
my God.
dog.
That's not how the song sounded.
It sounded like that. Yeah, that's how it sounded. But as far as like where it's gonna take him,
for sure.
I would definitely say it shows a lot of people that 21 is here for some time.
For sure, most definitely. I definitely agree that he's here for some time, and I think that this album definitely needs to be appreciated and understood as a true turning point. Like, I think this stretch of time between I Am Better Than I Was and Savage Mode 2 could really be seen as a turning point in 21 Savage's career, and where he goes from here, I think is he has all the potential to continue to rise. So that's where that stands with us. But yeah, that's been an album review for Savage Mode 2 from 21 Savage, Metro Boomin. If y'all haven't checked that album out, first off, don't know what you're doing. But secondly, please do. You won't be disappointed. We said it's an A, and if you trust us, go ahead and do that. And until the next album review, which y'all should actually probably let us know what y'all want us to review. But yeah, until that time, check out the rest of the episodes if you missed those. Until y'all see us next time.
Hey, turn up.
Peace.